Welcome back to Studio 4, everyone. You know, when we see these recalls come through on the computer, and especially with something that maybe a lot of us use often, acid reducers. We've gotten some recalls lately. It's been in the news, so we wanted to bring you in to talk about, kind of to give us a situation of what is happening. So this is something we talked about off air. When we see these recalls, we should be, it should make us feel good. That means the system is working. Correct,
yeah. Our system of watchdog is working to see if we're in danger.
So let's talk about that real quick. What are the researchers saying that we need to be on the lookout for?
So there's not a symptom or anything we can look for, but what's been affected is the generics of a brand of antacid reducer called Zantac. So the generic is called ranitidine. And so Zantac is not affected, and there's been a chemical, an environmental contaminant called NDMA that's been detected. I'm going to read something from Harvard Publishing because I think it's important to know that, you know, because the FDA nor the maker of Zantac is requiring people to stop taking it. You know,
yeah, at present, the FDA is not recalling, but that's one of the things that you always look, you always want to double check. And we'll talk about alternatives here in just a minute, but go ahead and read that.
So it's important to know that NDMA in ranitidine products does not pose any immediate health risk. Neither the FDA nor Novartis Sandoz or Apotex have received any reports of adverse events related to NDMA found in ranitidine. Although classified as a probable carcinogen, NDMA may cause cancer only after exposure to high doses over a long period of time.
And other countries may be issuing recalls, but we worry about what the FDA is doing. So let's talk about, for people who may take the one that has been pulled off the shelves, let's talk about alternatives that we have.
Sure. There, you know, you go into whichever pharmacy you go into, that aisle for your stomach and stuff, there's so many alternatives. So Prilosec, you know, Zantac is the, cimetidine, which is generic for Tagamet. That is exactly like this mechanism of action. So that's an alternative that's very, very good because it's going to match that mechanism right in your stomach where that's being produced, kind of higher up. Prilosec, Prevacid, those are other acid reducers. And then old-fashioned Tums.
They've been working for a long time.
Yeah, calcium carbonate.
They have been working for a very long time. One of the things I think it's important also to point out, when we get these recalls, you have professionals you can ask. You can go talk to your pharmacist and say, hey, here's what I'm reading. Should I be concerned? What do I need to do? It's a conversation.
Exactly, and we get calls every day, and we get literature, information every single day from our wholesalers because it's on them, you know, and so we should know that information.
And again, this information that comes out on recall, it is so fluid. It's one of the things that you have to keep going back and checking in on, but just to make sure you're on top of it. All right, Pharmacist Doug, we appreciate that. In terms of any other questions that I know that some of you may have out there, we love when our viewers participate in the discussion. So let us know if there's something out there that you want Pharmacist Doug to talk about. Reach out to us, mypharmacistdoug@gmail.com. You can also reach out to him on Facebook at Pharmacist Doug. And again, your options. You have different options, alternatives. Just go to the pharmacy and ask. Right. Doug, we always appreciate when we get to check in with you. And does anybody ever come in to the store and say, hey, I saw it in Studio 4?
They do. They do.
There you go. See? People do watch.
That's right.
Pharmacist Doug, we appreciate it so much. We've got more Studio 4 coming up right after this. Make sure you stay tuned.